Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com. And this morning when I was on my e-bike ride, a thought came to me because this isn't, by the way, this isn't the ride. This is a ride from last summer that I took, and I never published it or anything. And I thought, well, I'll just use this because it's unused. But when I was on my e-bike ride, I thought, I haven't made a e-bike video for a while, and I've been riding e-bikes for about 3 years now, and I've learned quite a bit. I thought one of the things that I haven't talked about is how to get the most out of your battery. And so, if you say, well, I don't need to know that, well, let me tell you a story. One of my stories, and maybe you might want to listen after I tell you. By the way, this was recorded during the monsoon season, and so there's a lot of flooding, or actually it has started to go away after that particular rain. So that's why you see a lot of flooded stuff. Anyway, so the years, it's been a while. A couple of years ago, I wanted to go get a drone video of a railroad track intersection with the canal, with the big canal, not the one by our house. And so it was like 6 miles away. And I thought, well, and I don't think I had a full charge, but I had like 4 out of 5 bars or something. And I didn't think about it. So I just got on and started riding. Well, what I didn't realize was a big part of that trip was on a 2-lane narrow road with heavy traffic. And it didn't have a bicycle lane or anything like that. So I'm going along, and it was uncomfortable enough that I put it in. I think I put it in pedal assist 4, which that uses about 500 watts while you're pedaling along, out of a 750 watt battery. And so I was going as fast as I could to get down to a corner where I could turn off, and it was so it was probably a couple of miles, if not more, of just pedaling really fast. So I got down to where I wanted to do my filming, pulled off the road, and I got a good video. Although maybe I'll put a link to that video too, because I got lost flying my drone back home, back to where I started. Some of you might remember that. But anyway, so I got my video, and then I got on my bike, and I wanted to go fast because the traffic was heavy both directions. And so I really pumped as fast as I could, and got down to past that long stretch of heavy traffic, and got to a slower road. I looked down at at the bars on my battery indicator, and if I pedaled, it went down to 1 bar, and if I coasted it, I had 2 bars. So that's where I was, and I still had a couple miles to ride. And so that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to put it in pedal assist 2 rather than 3, because normally with pedal assist 3, that's what they call the standard mode, and you use about 250 watts of your battery or of juice, So anyway, it doesn't use it up a lot or very fast, but it uses it. So I got down to pedal assist 2, and I'm headed on home, and then finally it got down to 1 bar. And I still had quite a ways to go for 1 bar on my battery. So that's when I put it down to pedal assist 1 and decided I'm just going to take my time, and hopefully I'll make it home, because it's no fun to pedal that bike without any pedal assist. I've tested that out. So anyway, you might run into that someday. So that's why I tell you that story. The first thing, if you want to make your battery last as long as possible, if you're going to go on a trip or something, it has to do with tire pressure. If you have your tires pumped up really heavy, like 30 pounds or something, you'll use a lot less battery than if you do like me. And to get a softer ride with my fat tires, I only have about 11 pounds in the rear tire, and I think 15 pounds in the front tire. Well, that uses a lot more battery, than the hard tires. So that's one thing that makes the difference is putting the right pressure that you're going to need for your ride. And then pedal assist is the oh, by the way, this I wanted to get down to this in this video and watch the construction that was going on. So that's why I made this video. I wanted to see it from the ground. So anyway, the pedal assist is the key to using your battery economically or using it up fast. Now, there's another thing that I've learned, and that is when to coast and when to pedal. For instance, when I go on my morning ride, I just take my time and don't hurry for most of the ride, and I'm going through different parts. It's level here in Arizona, so I don't have any really good examples. Of course, you would coast down a steep hill, but we have the way they design these developments is they have lower areas where the water's supposed to drain for flood control. And when I'm going along on like in Pedal Assist 2, which only uses about 130 watts, when I'm going along, it's wise for me to just, if I'm going down a slope, just if I'm not in a hurry, just coast. And then when it gets down to where I'm got to go up again or got to get to a level spot, then I pedal. And I can actually make my battery last quite a bit longer without having to charge it, just remembering that simple little rule. Another thing, I haven't run into this except for one ride that turned out okay. If you're going to start on an e-bike ride, by the way, you see all the bugs, or there's a bug flying around my camera on my helmet, so I didn't notice it that day, but anyway. So in this particular ride I'm talking about, I had to go 7 miles, and the last 2 miles at least were uphill, and so I used a lot of battery by the time I got to where I wanted to go. And then so when I got ready to leave, it was a lot easier to come downhill, so I didn't use very much battery coming downhill. But anyway, it turned out to be a 14-mile ride, and I did okay. If it had been the other way around, where if you start a ride that's going to go downhill, plan your ride carefully, because if you got to come uphill coming home, that's when you're going to use the battery. And of course, when you use the battery coming home, you just want to do it economically. Now, in the picture here, you can see that there's something in the sky there, and that's a hang glider. They fly their hang gliders down here every once in a while, so I thought I'd sit there and watch that. Well, anyway, so uphill and downhill. Another thing, keep in mind, when I was a kid, my folks went to the ocean, or maybe it wasn't my folks, maybe it was when I was growing up. Anyway, I had my bicycle with me, and I rode it down the beach, and I rode with the wind, and that was nice and easy. Then I had to turn around and come back in the sand with the wind, and it was a heavy wind. So wind does make a difference. I can tell you that. I had a sailboat. Wind has some power. So if you start a ride and you're gonna going with the wind, just remember, coming home, you're gonna be real careful and use your battery wisely. Another thing about lithium-ion batteries, especially if it's new, you'll notice there's another hang glider over to the right coming in. But if you have a brand new battery, the recommendation is the first couple of times you use it until it gets all the way down near to to discharge the whole battery, and then charge it up and then run it a couple more times to get it totally discharged. That breaks that battery in, so it'll last a lot longer. And if you didn't do that, well, that's okay, but that's just a wise thing to do. And then, by the way, charging, how to charge a battery, the instructions on my my e-bike, they tell you to plug the charging cable into the battery, and then go ahead and plug the charger into the wall, because when if it's a 45 volt battery, so it's a 45 volt charger, of course, and that's enough current or voltage to weld with. And so when you bring two pieces of metal together, it's like striking an arc with a welder, and that of course that arc and that can damage the electronics inside of the battery. What do they call it? The electronic speed control, ESC. Anyway, you can damage that. So the best way to do it is plug the connector into the battery, and then plug the charger into the wall instead of the other way around. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I guess that's about all I can think of right now. But coast when you have the opportunity, and pedal when you like if you're going around a corner, you don't always have to pedal around the corner and things like that. But let me finish with with another word to the wise. Maybe I'll put a link to that when I crashed my e-bike. On that particular day, I like riding, as you can tell. I like riding on the dirt roads. Doesn't bother me a bit. I enjoy it. But I learned right away to slow down on a rocky road. By the way, a rocky road will use up more battery than a paved road. Keep that in mind if you're planning a trip. But I was going, I was in like pedal assist 2 on this road that ran along next to the canal up by my house, and I didn't see a rut that was there. I had, with my front tire, I had only about 10 pounds in the front tire. Not anymore. Now I keep 50 in it. But it was flat enough that the edge of the tire caught the edge of a rut and tried to climb up out of the rut. And there's a nice view of the, that was a quick view of the hang glider. But it caught the edge of the rut and climbed up on it, and pulled the bike out from under me, and I was going too fast. I didn't realize it was going to happen, and so then I crashed, dislocated my shoulder, and so like they say, speed kills. And in the days when I was flying my plane, what they say is with planes, live and learn. And in other words, if you crash, hopefully that you live, then you won't be doing that anymore. Well, anyways, kind of a long video, but I hope it's helpful. And if you have an e-bike, I hope it helps you out. I want to thank you for watching and listening, and God bless.